What is going on, everybody? This is NYG Jeffy T 3285, and I hope everybody's enjoying their Tuesday morning so far. Now, I have a little bit of roster news to go about with the New York Giants as they continue to tinker their roster in efforts to get ready for the 2022 NFL season, as training camp is just about to kick off for themselves as well as every single other NFL team, as every team is supposed to be arrived and ready for training camp come this afternoon and evening. Now, the New York Giants have already signed two guys in Nick Williams and Andrew Adams, whom were reported by Dan Duggan and Jordan Renan as of yesterday. But they've also added a couple more players to the roster. They signed wide receiver Marcus Kemp from the Kansas City Chiefs, as well as offensive lineman Kamaal Seymour, who is his second year at it since he played in Rutgers. And in corresponding moves, the New York Giants have released wide receiver Travis Toivolen, as well as defensive lineman Jabari Ellis, cornerback Maurice Canady, and safety Henry Black to make room for Williams, Adams, Kemp, and Seymour. Now, I've already went over a couple of the other players that have been added to the roster in terms of Andrew Adams and Nick Williams. So here's some news and notes to go around with the New York Giants' other two additions that they brought onto the roster for the New York Giants in terms of Marcus Kemp as well as Kamaal Seymour. Now, Marcus Kemp is a 3-year wide receiver out of the University of Hawaii, and he stands at 6'4", 210 pounds, and he's played in 33 career games with 3 receptions for 31 yards, averaging about 10.3 yards reception with a long of 16 yards. He has 1 first down completion with no touchdowns, and he has a 33.3 percentage in terms of first down catches, as well as no catches within 20 to 40 receptions. So this is a guy that's obviously been very little used, and he could be pretty much, equated to maybe a camp body brought in. And he's not really going to account for much. Maybe he can go in there and surprise, but I would not be surprised if Marcus Kemp is just pretty much brought in as a guy with maybe a little bit more upside than the guy that they released, Travis Toivolen, in terms of a camp body going forward. So I'll have to see where this leads to. And in terms of Kamaal Seymour, he's a 2-year veteran that's been in the league. He's pretty much been out of the league most of the time because he's a rookie out of Rutgers, and he's looking for an opportunity maybe to snatch onto this New York Giants roster. But I think if anything, he's just another camp body, and I don't think he has the opportunity that's going to be able to beat out a guy like Matt Parrott or Matt Cano for that potential swing tackle position going forward with the New York Giants. So he's just a couple of more guys that I believe are just going to come in and be pretty much camp bodies going into the 2022 training camp and preseason, as I don't expect either one of these guys to be signed to the roster. And I think, if anything, these two guys are going to be competing for a possible position on the practice squad if they can show enough to be a potential future piece for the New York Giants for the future of this team. But those are just a couple of more additions to the New York Giants. As reported by Dan Duggan, the New York Giants have signed safety Andrew Adams, defensive lineman Nick Williams, 2 veterans that have played at least 7 years in the league, as well as wide receiver Marcus Kemp and offensive lineman Kamaal Seymour in 4 transaction moves. And in corresponding moves, they have released wide receiver Travis Toivolen, defensive lineman Jabari Ellis, cornerback Maurice Canady, and safety Henry Black to make room for those 4 players that have been added to the roster. And there's going to be a lot more tinkering with the roster as it continues to go through training camp and preseason as the New York Giants get prepared for the 2022 NFL season. So that's just my quick little roster update for the New York Giants as they prepare for training camp and get ready to arrive this coming afternoon and get ready for the 2022 NFL season. So if you like the video, please hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T 3285 for more breaking news updates and chatter surrounding the New York Giants, Brooklyn Nets, New York Mets, WWE Wrestling, as well as some food for thought. Leave a comment below on what you think about the new additions to the Giants roster, and if you think any of these guys have a real shot at making the 53-man roster, if you think they're just pretty much think they're pretty much camp bodies or guys that could maybe snatch onto the practice squad at the end of August and the beginning of September. And turn on the bell for notifications for the next shorter video that drops surrounding the New York Football Giants. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Football Giants.